For Black History Month, we are bringing you stories that you've likely never even heard of before. During World War II, there were a small group of black men who integrated into the Marines.
Yeah, Mallory Safaste is standing by. She's going to tell us how these men not only fought racism and injustice while fighting for their country, but they bridged a gap and built a lasting legacy known as the Montford Point Marines.
They wanted us to fail, because they didn't want us in there in the first place. So, they were hoping that we would fail so they could be all white again,
Before World War II, the Marine Corps was an all-white male institution. But on June 25, 1941, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 8802, which prohibited ethnic or racial discrimination in the nation's defense industry.
We all knew we were going to Parris Island. Parris Island was strictly for white Marines, no blacks were allowed. So we had Montford Point Camp, which was set up for blacks.
The whole thing was set up to fail. That it seems to me that there had been some planning up top somewhere to just give this thing a try, to say we put an effort into it, but we know it's not going to work.
But these men proved everyone wrong.
We paved the way for those that came behind us, because had we failed, there wouldn't be any legacy.
In other words, we had to fight for the right to fight.
I sit here kind of embarrassed that I didn't know the history in regards to the Montford Point Marines. I joined the Marine Corps voluntarily in 1969. At the point, I still didn't know about the Montford Point Marines.
He wasn't alone in not knowing this history. In fact, these men weren't publicly recognized until President Obama awarded them with Congressional Gold Medals in 2011.
I thought I went through hell in '69. I can't even fathom what it must have been like to go through a military branch of the military that didn't want you, that tried everything within their power to make you fail.
And no one kept telling us to keep pushing. You had to tell yourself. You just did as much as you could. And you did it as best as you could.
Oh, when we came back from our combat tours, we came back to a country that said, hey, welcome back, and he was treated fairly. We look at Montford Point Marines. During World War II, they put their lives on the line, serving in combat. But when they got back to the country, they would still have to face segregation and still being treated as second-class citizens, although they served their country honorably.
You go to war and you come back, then they tell you to get back in your place.
Even though the military has come a long way as far as segregation goes, the men who followed in the steps of the Montford Pointers are proud to keep their legacy alive.
We sit and listen to everything they say, and I just pass it on, because that's my history right there. These guys got stories to tell, and people need to open their eyes and ears and listen to it, because they might learn something.
The Montford Point Marines, always faithful.
Tenacious.
Grateful.
Admiration.
Historical.
Heroes.